If you're 40 years and above, I fully understand there is a certain anxiety that kicks in and you feel like it's already too late for you to make a great difference in your life. You tend to do a lot of things at the same time because you just want to do what we call the catch-up games. Maybe your peers have done something great, or maybe they have made quite a great difference compared to where you are right now. And that's why I'm gonna share with you in this specific video, step by step, what I believe you should be doing right now to make that great difference inside of your life. And actually, guess what? This video gonna be very helpful. All what you need to do is watch it up to the end so that you understand exactly what I'm gonna share with you. Okay? And guess what? I actually post a video each and every day, and if you don't want to miss any good video of mine, this is what you want to do. Just down there on your right, there is a button written subscribe. It is in black. Hit that magical button, then give this video a thumbs up. That means liking it, and YouTube will notify you whenever I upload a new good video. All right, so let's get into it. So you're 40 years and above, you're out there and you feel like you have a lot of pressure inside of you. Perhaps you have a family, you are educating, you have school fees to pay, you have your rent to pay, maybe perhaps you've never managed to build your own house, and all those kind of things are on top of your table, and it's you to make sure that all of them fall into place and you provide for everybody. And to make the matter worse, perhaps you even do what we call, you even pay what we call the black tax. Now, this is what I would advise you to do. At this particular point, let's all appreciate the fact that you do not have time, and time is not a luxury that you have as specific now. All right, this specific time. What I can advise you to do as of now is that do not try to do a lot of things and try do different things here and there. What I can advise you to do, you know what they always say, when you are 20 to 30 years old, make sure that you try different things. When you're 30 to 40, make sure that you have somebody who you're learning from, and by the time you're 40, then at that particular point you start doing or concentrate on what you understand better. Now, at this particular point, with this, what I would advise you, perhaps maybe you say you're a plumber, let's say you're a teacher, you're an engineer, you're a surveyor, you're a quantity surveyor. You are what you know who you are right now, wherever you are. Okay, you have that thing that you already amassed. There is that career that you usually do it. Perhaps the money is not enough in that specific career. This is what I would advise you to do. Concentrate on that what you do, and actually what I can advise you to do is actually think of broader ways on how you can be able to spread the tentacles of the income, so that at least you can have yourself more streams of income. What exactly do I mean by that? Let's now go to the next point. The next point is this. This is what I would advise you. Try to pick that what is less risky in terms of investments. What do I mean by that point? At this particular point, time does not allow you to try different things. That means the risk appetite has actually gone down a little bit. All right, and that specifically means that what you have to pick for you to invest on or for you to get started on, it has to be less risky. I did not say it should not be risky. I said it has to be less risky. And this is why you tend to find that these guys who are aged 40 years and above, they tend to concentrate on real estate, building rentals and what have you, because this type of investments is actually less risky compared to me telling you go out there, start a conventional business. So the point is this: try to concentrate on that what is less risky. And examples of the less risky investments are likes of the bonds and the bills. We have the unit trusts, we have the circle shares and what have you. Those are the areas that you can put. You have something like the index funds. We have areas like you buying a specific shares of given companies, that the stock market and what have you. So those are areas that you will realize that they are less risky. And perhaps you're out there, you feel like, okay, fine, I think I should have bought the shares back when I was at 20s. Of course, at 20s, less people are actually smart and have to have these ideas. A lot of people tend to open up when they hit 30, in that age bracket of 30 to 40 years. This is what I can advise you. Believe you not, in a period of 5 years, if you were to create a portfolio of, let's say, even if it's a unit trust, or maybe it's a circle shares, or maybe it's a stock shares, that the Nairobi Securities Exchange sort of a stock shares. If you were to concentrate for the next 5 years, you can build yourself a very great portfolio. I was advising a certain individual, a certain client, who actually called me, and I told him, you know what, if you perhaps you were to dedicate 5,000 each and every month towards you buying shares of a given company, guess how much you'll be able to accumulate the next 5 years? Close to $1 million, Bob. That's for sure. I mean, seriously, let's do the mathematics. A whole year, if you were to accumulate 5,000, assuming that you're not getting interest of dividends, and of course you are getting, all right? Now I'm saying assuming. At the end of the year, that is 60,000. At the end of the next year, that's another 120,000. Other multiply that now, that one by 5 years. You realize that you're clocking 6, 700, 800 about there. And then of course you can add what you've been getting in terms of dividends, and also believing that all those shares are actually appreciating in terms of price. So then you get yourself into better ways of investing your money. Now, this is the point. One thing that you're supposed to understand is this: concentrate on building that what is less risky, and actually concentrate on actually doing that monthly contribution or daily contribution. It all depends on how you actually make your money. All right. Now, the next point that you really needed to understand at this particular point: if you have problem when it comes to money management skills, honestly speaking, for God's sake, you do not have that luxury of actually not knowing what goes where. Because at this particular point, we usually say old comes with knowledge and old comes with wisdom. You have to understand very well where your money is going. It's so not so good when you sit down and try to figure out where your money has went. You just take a pen and paper and try to figure out where your money has went. All what you're doing is to catch up the game or to catch up with the money, and the money is always ahead of you. What I can advise you to do is that make sure that you understand fully your budget. Make sure that you understand what goes where. And I always tell people, never ever ignore the budget. I always tell people that budget is usually the sacred language that the money understands. You're simply instructing the money to go this and this and this. It's like you're telling 10,000 go towards paying the rent, 2,000 go towards paying the car repayment, all that kind of an individual, or rather that kind of a conversation. So budgeting is actually what we call the sacred language that money understands. So for God's sake, if you can forget anything and everything that I'm gonna say in this video, do not forget to have yourself a budgeting strategy or schedule or how you utilize your money. And at this particular point, I would advise you concentrate on making sure that you have yourself a savings somewhere. And when I say savings, it has to fall into three categories. Either you're saving for emergency purposes, you're either saving for the purposes of buying certain specific thing, let's say a land or a car, or maybe you're saving for the purposes of investing. One day you're gonna get yourself into retirement. Even if you're not employed, retirement is not a thing that usually given to people who are employed. Retirement usually even comes to people who have employed themselves. The time will come when you do not have the energy and the zeal to actually go out there and do what you're doing right now. And I always advise people, make sure by the time you're clicking or clocking 55 years old, you already have an exit plan. Don't think of exit plan when you're already at 55. You already have an exit plan. It's only that you're about to execute it, and everything will be good for you. All right, so let's get to the next point. This is what I advise people. Let's say you are out there, you would love to get started with what we call the conventional businesses, hizi biashara za kawaida, the normal businesses. All right, what I can tell you, if you want to get started with the conventional businesses, pick that what you understand, pick that what you know. All right, again, we are going back to the point number one: luxury of time is not what we have as of now. Actually, that is what we are suffering from. So what you're supposed to do, pick that what you understand, meaning pick that thing. Either you've been employed to that business, so you know the nitty-gritties about it, or maybe you went to school and studied that business thing, or maybe you've been you have an experience. I do not know how, but at least you know something about that business, rather than going out there picking a thing that's totally new to you. You don't understand it, and you're putting this, the only money, the dear money that you've been saving for quite a while, and then getting started with it. And if you have to start that specific type of a venture and you do not understand it, I would advise this: go ahead and pick an individual who is operating that business successfully already and take time with them. I had a very simple individual who approached me and told me, hey, I want to set up or put up a butchery, but I've never known how this specific business goes up. I don't even know how to measure this meat and what have you. I know what I told him: find an individual who is your friend, go to that specific place and enroll for the classes. What I mean by enrolling the classes, quote unquote classes, is that go to that place, tell them you would love to work for them for free. All right, you work for them for free. You show up in the morning, just see what they do. They make sure that they sweep, they make sure that they clean the place, they wipe all those glasses, they make sure that the counter is clean. This is how you actually handle your customers. These are what we call the before sales, the after sales. This is actually how you cut the ram, the meat, and what have you. This is how you actually calculate your profit. This is how you manage the kitchen section. This is how you manage the outside section, as what have you. I mean, you have to understand all the nitty-gritties. And if you've never been employed in such kind of a business, show up to that specific place where they're operating that business already, and that individual, you can befriend them. Tell them, hey, you know what? I would love to show up to this place and work for you for free for the next, let's say, 1 week. And by the way, the reason as to why I'm doing so is because I just want to start this kind of a business, but way far from here. Don't tell them I want to start this business across the road. No, of course they will feel threatened by your action. They might try to fudge or retrieve some information, or not really retrieve, but kind of hold some information that will be vital for you. Tell them, let's say maybe you show up in like a town like a Kisii and you tell them I would like to start this business in Nyeri, Mombasa, or what have you. You don't have to be that on. Don't have to be honest. You just need to be specific, and you have to be smart in businesses. All right. So that is how exactly you get the skills. And when you get started, then of course, even how you handle all those knives and whatever, that actually shows you have the skills. And when you're handling the customers, can be able to tell this individual knows what exactly they are doing. So this is the point. Pick that thing that you know very well that is good for or you're good at. Then again, don't engage yourself in very risky investments and what have you. The other thing is this: make sure that you understand your numbers. And the other point is this: it is never too late. You can actually put your house in order, pick that thing that you understand, and then get started with it. And that's the simplest way, or the simplest thing that I can advise you to do when it comes to at the age of 40 years and above. And guess what, guys? If you've managed to watch this video up to this particular point, guess how I'm feeling deep inside of me is I'm very so much gratitude and so great about it. All what I can advise you to do is go ahead and pick my number from the description of this specific video. You can give me a call. I offer services pertaining to financial consultation, business advisories, and what have you. So for just a cup of coffee. I also have booklets about investments, business plans, business ideas, and what have you. So you can just pick the same number, give me a call or text on WhatsApp. You get your copy for only 280. So for now, it's only a goodbye, but make sure you subscribe and make sure that you comment down below. Tell me what you think so that we move to the next level. So for now, don't forget, see you.